Big developments in the investigation into the Kenya Mall terrorist attack. As authorities piece together evidence, recovering a car that may have been used by the terrorists. They're also reportedly looking into who owned that, and it comes as the international police agency Interpol issues an arrest warrant for the woman known as the White Widow. She's been linked to terror groups and the one that's claimed responsibility for this massive attack. All this as we also get our first look inside the mall. We're learning horrific new details about the torture the victims may have endured. Our chief intelligence correspondent, Catherine Herridge, is live in Washington with the very latest. Hello, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Shannon. That's right. The main development today so far is that investigators have located what may be a car linked to the terrorists. That's a significant piece of evidence because of the rental records and the potential for clean fingerprints inside that vehicle. The damage from the terrorist attack, which lasted 4 days, is now plain to see, though there's no independent confirmation from U.S. officials that members of al-Shabaab, the al-Qaeda affiliate in Somalia, tortured and mutilated the hostages, in at least one case reportedly throwing them off the mall's terrace balconies. Kenyan investigators are also said to be building a profile on one of the potential terrorists who, according to eyewitness accounts, urged a pregnant woman who was shopping at the Westgate to leave moments before the attack unfolded on Saturday. And while U.S. officials say there was no specific intelligence prior to the attack, a UN report issued in July did warn that al-Shabaab's partner in Kenya, a little-known group called al-Hijra, wanted to launch more complex operations. At this early stage, it's not known whether the two groups actually worked together on the Westgate plot, but a leading counterterrorism analyst says one of the misconceptions about al-Shabaab is that it's only interested in establishing an Islamic state with strict Sharia law in East Africa.
What we've seen with Shabaab is it's focused on fighting insurgency in Somalia, but also in committing terrorist attacks throughout the region and even globally. And the latest attack in Kenya is totally consistent with Shabaab's regional plans, but we've also seen that they've plotted attacks in the West.
Law enforcement sources tell Fox News that U.S. investigators have asked Kenyan authorities for the names of these 8 surviving terrorists they say they have in their custody, but so far the Kenyans have not been very forthcoming with the names, which is odd given the longstanding law enforcement relationships we have with that country. Having those names, law enforcement sources say, would allow the U.S. to independently run them against the terror watch list and the databases and ultimately identify some of the participants. Shannon.
Critical information. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.